Hello, beautiful souls. Michelle McCoy here with Autumn Flow, and I'm really psyched to share this fun little transition sequence move with you. I'm calling it the leapfrog because honestly, that's just what it reminds me of. So I'm going to show it to you as always, and then we will break it down. Starting position. Bam, 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 bam. Make sure you include the bams there. The basic move that I'm going to really break down is starting with the hoop touching your chest and in contact with that area of your arms a little bit above your elbows. Make sure that you are squeezing your shoulder blades together so that your chest is molding into the shape of the hoop. So you don't want to be like this. So you want to have that nice open chest. Put your arms out, palms out, and it's kind of like this popping motion. So the hoop pops up and over from the movement of your arms. Again, you're coming down, sweeping your arms down, and then popping it up. And you really need to play around with the speed and like intensity that you're putting in to the pop part. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I don't know. Okay, so anyways, yeah, because if you like bam, pop it like that, then it's just not going to work. And you also want to make sure that you are keeping your arm momentum in unison so that when the hoop pops off, it will be in a nice vertical position. It's not going to be like wobbly. Okay, so moving on, we got our nice little starting position here. Sweep it forward, catch it immediately at the top of the hoop as it pops down before it hits the ground, when it's in this nice vertical position. So you want to kind of watch. I keep my gaze down and grab it as it's coming down. Okay, so you don't want to stop it right away. You want to glide it down, and this is where the leapfrog part comes in. So when you grab the hoop after the pop, you're going to want to make sure that your stance is pretty far. If you have a larger hoop, your stance is going to have to be farther and farther and farther. So this one's a 31 inch, so I probably wouldn't recommend going like, I don't know, any higher than 32. I have pretty long legs and I still have to like really be pretty far. Isn't that a cute little move? So one thing, because this is kind of like an awkward position to be hooping in, one thing I like to do, I'm gonna hit my mic, I know it, to get into this move so it doesn't look as awkward, is to start with some breaks, because you already have this like nice low stance. I'm combining a lot of yoga poses with hooping right now and experimenting with that. So this is goddess pose, really feeling that burn in your legs, getting as low as you can, opening up those hips, put in some breaks, and then when you bring the hoop off, you are set up to go into your move, and you already have your legs nice and wide. Now when you go to push the hoop through your legs, bend your knees. Now really firm grip here. You want your palms to be facing down, so you push it in and then over. Okay, so you want to push it far enough through your legs and bend forward so that it comes, and of course I'm wearing a high bun today, it's getting in the way, so that it comes over your head. And then you quickly, swiftly move your hands to the top of the hoop with your palms facing. Is such an awkward position. I might need to edit some of this video. Okay, so here, bend the knees, go through
all the way to get over our head. And then as soon as you let go of that hoop, bring your hands to the front of the hoop. My thumbs are on the inside of the hoop and my palms are facing down. And then as you come back up, you want to like come up slowly.
Body wrap. And then as it comes in front of you, you stick your arms into it so that it kind of like is in the crease of your elbows. And then you grab the top of the hoop with your palms facing you, thumb on top, fingers underneath. And there has to be like a lot of mobility in your wrist here. So from here, you push your hands down, which pops the top of the hoop up. So you push it down and lay it against your chest and then bring your arms out. Okay, so that's one easy way to get into this move. Another cool way is to go from a vertical ghosting and then ghost it down behind you like so. There's so many ways to get into this move. One of my favorites is to go from a pizza toss, three's the charm, and grab it, catch it like this, up on your chest and your arms. And then there you go. And then to get out of this, like I showed you in this awkward position, the easiest way I think is to grab it and come up like that. And then you can go into an isolation or a ladder. Another fun way is to grab it, go through, and then come back. And you can like do some spinning, go into shoulder hooping. So a couple tips for getting this down. Definitely practice each part of it individually so that you can make sure you're creating the right muscle memory, and when you put it all together, it'll just look a lot more fluid. So for example, first the pop and getting used to the momentum needed for that and getting used to grabbing it, and then the leapfrog part, I'll call it, making sure that you kind of have an idea of where your feet need to be, how much you need to bend, how much you need to lean over to clear your head. And then one piece of this, this is gonna be a weird angle, but one piece of the leapfrog part that I would definitely just be very aware of is when you put it through and you get it over your head, you don't want to take very long at this point, because that's where the fun illusion comes in. You want it to be very swift and fast. And then people are going to be like, whoa, what just happened? So if you watch my hands here, I grab the hoop. I usually keep them about that far apart. You can kind of experiment it, but I found that if they're too close together, I don't have as much control over the hoop. It gets kind of wobbly. So about that far apart, going through, I have one hand on the back while I grab it with my other hand in the front, and then I let go and bring it up. Now, there's different ways to do this. You can do it with two hands, but I would recommend first learning it one hand at a time, and then when you come up, do something cool. Because you don't want to just like come up and then be like, yeah. You want to like end it with like a pop. That was my thing. Both hands, one hand, one hand. You kind of have to experiment with where to grab the hoop too. That's another tip, is when you go through your legs, try to reach your arm out, because you're eventually going to come to the hoop when you reach your arm out. If you go too short, you're just going to be going like this. So reach your arm out, immediately grab it, release from the back, and then hinge it forward. So you're gonna keep a fairly firm grip on the hoop, but I've explained this in a lot of other tutorials. You really wanna make sure that you're able to hinge the hoop so that it can come around back to the front. All right, nice and swift. So you always want to think ahead of what you got to do. And I just think it's easier to keep your stance wide starting in this position instead of like, if it's not, then you're really like hassling to get it in place and it just doesn't look as smooth. Or maybe you could like do this thing. That'd be kind of cool. Let's check that out. Does that look cool? I don't know. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it.